that's for sure. No motivation at all. I played, I swear to God, I played Eye of the Tiger by Survivor 5 times in a row to get my ass moving. It's a good workout, though. Yeah, I'm just wrapping up my wraps. I've had these things for a while. I have a new pair, but they're actually very expensive ones. But I don't know. I just like these old ones. They work for me. I'll have to maybe the next because I'm going to compete. I'm going to use the ones I've been using all along. You know, you don't want to do anything out of the ordinary um, when you're almost going to getting ready to compete. I'm competing. And geez, today's May 1st, 17 more days. Yeah, 17 more days. I got to tell my boss I need the day off Saturday. Yeah, I got to tell her. Just kidding. Yeah. Oh, someone's online. Hey, how you doing tonight? I just got finished squatting. Had a good squat workout. I went up to 530 pounds. That was a good one, good squat. I did 510 for a double, but I didn't quite hit depth on those. But they gave me a good warm up, though, man. They warmed me up for that 530. The 530 squat was a good one. Because I'm a referee too. That's definitely would pass. That definitely would give me 3 white lights. Uh, the 510 for a double, I didn't quite hit depth on it, but that's the most I've done a double for. And God, I think that's the most ever. You know. Yeah, you don't have to, when you're training, you don't have to hit depth every time. It's not that important. A lot of people say, oh, you're high. It does not matter. Get that CNS used to that heavier weight, man. That's the important part. So it feels kind of more normal on your back. It doesn't feel like 1,000 pounds on your back. Got to get that it's a CNS primed, man. You want to get that CNS primed with a heavy weight. So don't be afraid if you got or mad at yourself if you come a couple of inches short of depth or whatever. And you're in training, man. If you're in training, it doesn't really matter if you're a power lifter. I can remember I didn't hit depth once or maybe one time in training with a heavyweight. And then in competition, I went 3 for 3 and did a 520-pound squat. You know, at 56 years old. So it doesn't really matter, you know. It doesn't. When you're a power lifter, as long as it compares more, you know, that likes on more concerned with the likes on Instagram, Facebook, and all that. Hey, how you doing there, GSR 22, General Service Rep 22. Hey, Vinny D, how's it going? Hi. That's great, great night. I just did squats. I went up to 530 pounds. It was a good squat. It's 7 pounds or almost 7 pounds more because than my national APA Federation record for my age group. Yeah, the record first I set it with 520. That was over a year ago. I think I was 55 or 56. I'm not sure. I don't remember. Then I broke that record again with a 523.6. It was kilogram plates. Yeah, it was 523.6. You can even look it up. Look my name up, Allan Greenson, Open Powerlifting. All my numbers are right there, you know. That's why when people say, that's not that much on the bar, I says, oh yeah, well just go check out, just Google my name, Allan Greenson, Allan Greenson, Greenson, and put in open powerlifting, and it shows all the. Oh, I appreciate that, GSR. Thank you. Yeah, it shows all. You can't hide that, man. That shit. That open powerlifting site goes back. There are meets that are listed on there going back to 1970. There's friends of mine that competed in 1970 that are on there. You know. A little brief history of powerlifting that I know about. I think it was 65 or 66. I'll have to Google it again. Was the first powerlifting meet? I think it was 65 maybe. Before that, they called that the odd lifts, and it was the odd lifts were training for Olympic lifting, you know. Thank you, Vinny D. Yeah, you have a good night. You have a good night. I'm gonna be getting out of here soon too. I gotta eat. But they used to call it the odd lifts, the squat, deadlift, and bench, and it was training for Olympic lifting before 19. I think it might have been even 64. It might have been even 64. If somebody knows in the comment section, let me know. If someone will Google that. But I'm pretty sure it was started in. I know the mid 60s. And I know for a fact about they call it the odd lifts back in the day. In bodybuilding back in the day, they had a strength contest at the bodybuilding contest. So not only did the competitors compete in bodybuilding, they also had strength. They had to do a strength contest, you know. Arnold Schwarzenegger, he competed in powerlifting too in the 60s. Yep, and Franco Colombo, he competed. Sergio Olivier, a famous bodybuilder, won the Mr. Olympia in 67, 68, and 69, was an Olympic lifter from Cuba. Yeah, that's how he got his start. And then he defected to the United States. Yeah, he came over here to the United States. Joe Weider scooped him up. Everybody know who Joe Weider is. He scooped him up and turned him into a bodybuilder. Him and Arnold, he beat Arnold in 1969. It was one of Arnold's three biggest Arnold lost, during when he first started, he lost a few competitions, but he only lost three major competitions. One was to Frank Zane, and one was, I can't think of the guy's name, but he was known as the father of natural bodybuilding. I can't remember his name. And then one to Sergio Olivier. Sergio beat him in 69. Frank Zane beat him, I forgot what year, late 60s. But yeah, Arnold, I think it was 68. Sergio Olivier, nobody competed against him. Isn't that weird? And Arnold, in 1 year, nobody competed against him. I forgot what, I think it was 71 maybe or something like that. Can you imagine going to a bodybuilding competition and nobody shows up but one person competing, and it's the biggest one in the world? Follow Jamie. Okay, just reading the top thing. So how's everybody doing out there tonight? That was just a little brief history, going back to the 60s. Mel Hennessy, big power lifter in the 60s, big bench press guy. Pat Casey, huge upper body guy. It's 1960s. Then Mr. Powerlifting, my friend Larry Pacifico came on the scene in 1970, and he was undefeated all the way till 1979. And they only had one federation back then, and he was a champion for his weight classes. Sometimes he would compete in the 220s, and he would be his numbers would even be better than the super heavyweight, over 300 pounds. He also, there was Vince Anello. He's my good friend. I talked to both of them tonight. Larry's in his late 70s, and so is Vince. Larry just had I forgot what it was, some kind of he got some kind of a heart operation recently, but he's doing good now. I don't think it was heart. He said his heart is strong. It must have been, it's some kind of with his lungs. I'm sorry, yeah, with his lungs. But he's doing good now, You never know. When you get that age, you're blessed if you have no ailments at all, Highly unlikely, though, usually, something's going to happen. Especially when you're a powerlifter, you're beating the hell out of your body that long. Vince Anello walks like 10 miles a day still, man. 78 years old. First man to deadlift over 800 pounds at under 200 pounds. I got pictures of him all over my walls. But today I feel blessed. I'm going to be competing May 17th in Canada. Not Canada, I'm sorry. It's a Canadian-American championship in Vermont, Brattleboro, Vermont. I've been there several times. I think this is like my fourth time competing there at this competition, something like that. Yeah. I'm starting to lose track. I've been in over 20 competitions since I started it in my early 50s. Um, I hope to bench over 400, which is gonna. It's a good posture. I'm on track for that over 400 bench. The deadlift is the thing that's got me the most concerned. That's really dropped. My squat is overpassed it. Has passed it. Has passed my deadlift. I want to get my deadlift used to be so strong. Now it's I don't know. I'm getting older. Um, I don't know. I can't use that as an excuse though. I just gotta no excuses, man. No excuses. The bench is still up there, you know. Squat is getting stronger. Um, that's about all I have to say tonight. Nobody else is out there talking too much. It's kind of quiet tonight. Uh, I'm gonna go eat in a few minutes. I appreciate that, Aces Fish. Appreciation. Yeah, I'm really blessed. I'm 57 years old. I'm the way I was living before I got sober at 46. I'm on. I call it borrowed time almost, man. Yeah, man. When you've had nights where you smoked $100, well over $100 of crack, took two ecstasies, um, took a couple of Xanny bars, uh, and what else? Oh, a couple of three Oxycontin 30s all at one time, and you're still walking around today, you know. Yeah, and then once I got off all those pills, I was on what I could get my hands on. But then I started drinking, out of control drinking, man, around the clock from about 2011 till I got sober in 2015. That's when I got sober over a decade ago, completely sober. Yeah, around the clock, I would. There was one time when I had a car. I didn't have a car very long. That didn't last too long. But I would drive around to. This is in Southern Illinois when I lived in Southern Illinois. Now I live in Massachusetts, where I'm from. I would drive around to like these places like Kmart and steal a bottle of vodka or whatever I could get my hands on, and I would literally drink myself. I would drink around the clock, pretty much. You know, I drink, pass out, and drink again. I'm on borrowed time, man. Really, I'm now that I'm sober though. I'm blessed. You know, I'm blessed. I'm still here and able to do. You know, believe me, when I got sober, it's because I got locked up for 10 months. Thank God. I didn't know if I was going to be able to come back at all. You know, because I had lifted a little bit in my 20s and late teens, 20s, very early 30s. I had lifted somewhat on and off. I didn't think I was going to be able to get it back again. You know. But the body is an amazing machine, you know. But you don't want to do it too long. If you're doing that shit, wouldn't have lasted in my 50s. I can guarantee you that doing it like that, I wouldn't be here right now. I guarantee you, if I continued on that path I was on. I quit when I was 46, sitting in jail celebrating my 46th birthday with not a damn penny into my name. Nobody left in my life, you know, at all. I had a little glimmer of hope though that I was gonna come back. Boy, I'll tell you, man, sitting in that jail cell in West Frankfort, Illinois, not even one person would answer the phone, man. I had burned all my bridges. Right off the bat, though, I started working out in there. You know, started working out, started curling water bags and all that bullshit when you're in jail. Then when I did several months in prison at the end of that. I did 10 months. Several months of it was in prison. They had weights in there that were welded. All of them were welded. So I was doing the weights in there for a little while. Then when I got out, I had to go to a halfway house for 3 months. And this was back in 2016? No, 2015, late 2015, 2016, early 2016. for 3 months. And I didn't, obviously, I didn't have a membership to a gym. So I just continued doing the calisthenics when I was, did my 3 months in there. Once in a while, I would pay to go to the gym for the day if I could get out, you know. That was very rare, though. Yeah, I started getting stronger again. I didn't think I was going to get as strong as I am now, because when I was locked up in prison doing the weights, the most I got up to was 285 on the bench. Yeah, I did 285, and that's after several months in there. And I don't think I could even squat more than 350, maybe, if that. Not even to depth, maybe. Hey, how you doing? Keep it real. I'm a keeping it real, baby. So yeah, I don't know if when I was locked up in prison with the weights, they had one bar that had 405, and I could deadlift that without the straps, but I couldn't do that much more than that. The protein, I didn't have that much canteen money at the time. Like I said, I had nobody left in my life, you know. I knew I wasn't going to do much time, so I didn't go around trying to scam money from people, you know. I knew I was only going to be in there, when I went in, excuse me, it was like May. Was it? Yeah, it was May when I went in there, and I knew I wasn't going to be in there much past Thanksgiving, the next thing. So I didn't really, and I had, when I went in there, I got my money from a bond back. That's the only money I had. It was like $700. So I just kind of spread that around for myself, bought coffee with it, you know. I bought a radio, you know, that was pretty good. Good buy. Some sneakers, bought some sneakers, and a little bit of clothes, the hygiene stuff. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, yeah. Most people are pretty much smaller than me. Yeah, unfortunately, cause sometimes it's a drawback being this big. You know, there's a lot of drawbacks. But yeah, like I said, I didn't get that strong in there because of the food, man. I didn't have the greatest food, and we were overtraining. There was nothing to do. You'd go out and work out in the yard. You ended up overtraining. You know, if you do too much of something like that, especially I was in my mid to late 40s then, it's not that hard to overtrain, you know. So always be sore, you know, and I can remember they had a bar that had 265 on it, or 260 or something like that. I think it was 265, and I could only do that twice, man, at one time. And man, it was kind of depressing because I remember when I worked out for a little while in my 20s, I remember doing 405 for one on the bench, you know, just for one. I only did it one time it was in my late 20s. Oh, somebody on my news feed just replied, probably called me an asshole, you know. I got this news feed, it's like a social media thing, and a lot of like real far left liberals on there. Yeah, a lot of I argue a lot on there. I don't know, probably not good, but whatever. It keeps me busy. But tomorrow is Friday. I'm trying to think what I'm gonna do tomorrow. You know, probably just some bodybuilding stuff, like some curls, maybe. The next workout I have is probably deadlifts or bench. I did bench. See, I took yesterday off, so I don't know. I could do bench. I'm better off doing bench Saturday, maybe. I have to. I always plan it out. You know, I like to have some recovery time. I'm 57, so it's important to have a lot of recovery time. You know. Uh, so I celebrated 10 years of sobriety January 11th. January 11th. So when I was in that halfway house, that was for 3 months. I got out right. I got out of prison in 2015. What's that? Yeah, I got out of prison at 2015. Thank you, I appreciate it. I am. So when I got out, I had to go to this halfway house. Most of it was paid for the house by the federal government. So there was a lot of Fed prisoners in there. They were still doing their time, but they were out. It was right about that time. Let me think when it was February. They let out a bunch of federal inmates, but they were still doing their time in a halfway house. They had to do so much time in there, and if they screwed up, they went right back to prison. So they were funding this place in Marion, Illinois, mostly, and they did let some state inmates go there and who weren't doing their time. I was on parole. I was not doing any time anymore. I was done with that, but I was on parole in there, so I had to do a year of parole when I got out. Yeah, which was actually longer than what I was in there for. I was in there for prison for 7 months, but I was on state parole for a year. Why was I on? I can't remember why. It was a year, but they didn't want to cut me. Yeah, I am gonna be getting married pretty soon. No rush on that. I met this beautiful lady named Kathleen. I met her on Facebook dating. I was only on Facebook dating for like 2 days, and I really lucked out. I'd say the craziest thing I saw in prison, maybe the fight with a guy that only had one leg. That was probably it. He beat the hell out of this one guy that had sex charge. The one guy he beat up was a sexual deviant, like one of those. They call them chomos in prison, or he had prison. They call them chomos. He had a sex charge against minors. And he beat the hell out of this guy, man. This guy, he only had one leg, had a wooden leg or whatever. What? This is kind of like a Jeremy. Jeremy, yeah. What does it say here? Yeah, this is a powerlifting and sober channel. Uh, I don't really like silly stuff on here. You know, I can pick it up. I pick it out right away, man. The foolish shit. So I'm gonna end up blocking people. I end up not everybody, but if you I can tell a joke and someone that's trolling. Yeah, I can tell that right away. I've been around the block on as far as social media. I can pick. I even know, like, I can tell when someone's trolling. I even know when there's one guy's got 5 different channels, usually, maybe even more than that, on YouTube. He's got 5 different personalities he makes. There's a couple of people that do that, and I can tell his personality and who he is. You know, I can tell. Yeah, when it's him. I've already blocked several of his channels on here. Yeah, he was pretending to be somebody else. I can tell, you know, right away. But anyways, that's enough of that. Uh, I just block people that are negative and say silly stuff. I can pick it up right away. No time for that shit, you know. But anyways, yeah, the guy beat the hell out of him with he had one leg. But see, I went to a minimum security, so there wasn't anything that crazy in there at all. Nothing at all. No. When I was in Graham Reception Center, that was a reception center where you get classified. You were locked inside 23, almost 24 hours a day. You only got to go outside twice a week or 3 times a week for an hour, and you got 2 showers a week. So I didn't see anything in that place at all. It was pretty much a month of doing absolutely nothing, sitting in a cell, you know. When I got classified, a guy from Taylorville, that's where I ended up going in Illinois. He he ended up interviewing me, and we started talking about, because I was a world traveler. I worked on a yacht. I was a deckhand on a yacht I did that for a few years, and I've been all over I've been all the way from St. Petersburg, Russia, all the way to Tel Aviv, Israel, and everywhere in between, all the Scandinavian countries. So I started talking to him about these countries, and he remembered that because I had to take a piss test when I left, when I was getting released from there. They make you take a piss test at Taylorville when you're getting released to go home on parole. And he remembered the conversations we had. I had a really intelligent conversation with him. Yeah, I'll never forget that guy, you know. That guy was a nice guy. And I got a lot of fond memories of the police, too. When I first got locked up, when I first got arrested in West Frankfort, Illinois, which that's when I got sober. The cops, yeah, hey, what's up there, gaming? Polyphagia, phagia, polyphagia gaming. Good evening. Yeah, you caught me live. Yep. I was just talking about my time in Taylor, a car going by, in Taylorville Correction. That's where and also how when I got sober. And when I got sober, I was drinking myself to death pretty much. I had warrants in two different counties, and the cops came on a domestic dispute, at my little sleazebag motel I was living in, and I ended up telling them, "Hey, I got two warrants out of two different counties." Thank you, I appreciate that. Mumb 13IZ. All right, thank you, I appreciate it. Good evening. So I told the officer, the West Frankfort cop, there was two of them that came. You know, I was cordial with them. This is a very redneck town, man. Very redneck. The biggest employer is probably Walmart down the street. You know. And I told him, look, yeah, I'm not going to give you any problems, man. I says I've had enough. I actually told him I had enough of this life. I want to get sober, you know. And they let me have my last two shots of alcohol. They were sitting there before they handcuffed me and took me away, and they let me have a cigarette also, one last cigarette. Then they put the handcuffs on. They were very nice though, man. Very nice to me. Yeah, I'm very grateful for them. I'll never forget that, how nice they were, you know. Of course, I'm one of those people. I support the blue. Blue lives matter. I was never into that. Yeah, I was. I always supported the. I've always. I never that defund the cops was absolutely insane. You know. I've been sober for January 11, 2015. It's been over 10 years. 10 years now. So it's let's see, January, February, March, April. I'm coming up on 10 years and 5 months. Thank you, Jeremy. Yeah. I did go to a lot of I haven't been to AA since my anniversary. I should go to more. You know, to show the newcomer that they don't have to live like that. I got to start going more. I was going a lot. I've probably only been to a half a dozen in the last 3 years meetings. Yeah, right before. No, I was pretty much arrested. The cops were there at the house. You know, uh, they read me my rights. And I said, officers, I know you may say no, and that's okay. Can I have a last shot of vodka? They let me take a last shot of vodka. Both of them smoked. One of them gave me a full. I was smoking that damn roll your own pipe tobacco. You know, that cheap ass shit. I smoked cigarettes too. I don't smoke anymore too. It's been almost 9 years for that. Actually, it's been 9 years now. It'll 9 years in June. It'll be 9 years. I quit the cigarettes too. It's not cool. Going to the gym and smoking cigarettes kind of not really cool, you know. Yeah, working out is very addicting. It's my medication now. I don't take any kind of antidepressants or anything. Not saying that that's good for everybody. Some people need it, but I've never had to. I don't have to take any kind of antidepressants. I sleep like a baby. I don't need any kind of sleeping pills. It is addicting working out. I need my workout. Supplements, whey protein, sometimes creatine, not necessary though. and a pre-workout, caffeine, coffee if I don't have that. Uh, Good solid whole food is the best. Good solid. Yeah, Jeremy. Yeah. Jail sucks. Prison was a little bit easier when I only had to do. I'm not saying only. It's still a waste of lifetime. You know, you never get those months back. But yeah, I did like 5 months in county jail, and that absolutely sucks. And then I did the rest of the time. It was from May until right after Thanksgiving. I was in prison. No, no, it was if you even had a gang tattoo, they wouldn't let you go where I went. If you draw, say you had a notebook and you wrote something about a gang, they'd throw your ass right out of there. There was no gangs where I was. No, I wouldn't join any. I mean, don't ask. I don't know. If I was somewhere I had to, I don't know. I can't answer that, but I would not join one. That's great, man. That's great gaming. Yep. That's fine. Yeah, legally, right. They call that California. If you're sober and you smoke weed, it's called California sober. No judgment here on that. Hey, whatever works for somebody, as long as their life gets better, you know. To be honest with you, the alcohol and the drugs was just a symptom of an underlying mental and spiritual problem I had. You know, it was more like I was using it. I was self medicating myself is what I was doing. Uh, mm, Self medication is what it is. You know. Um, Getting sober for me wasn't just quitting drinking. Like I said, there's a lot more to it than that for me. It was changing the person that I was before. I was a booster. I used to steal anything that wasn't nailed down in these stores. I would go in and I'd steal 10 blue. This was back in the day, 2007, 8, when they had the Blu-rays. Those were the hot item. I'd go in and steal 10 Blu-ray DVDs at a Walmart or a Target, and then I'd go to the next one, steal 10 more. And then I'd go to these pawn shops. They might give me $4 or $5 a piece for them, you know, $4 or $5. Yeah, something like that. Sometimes more than that. Sometimes $10 a piece, you know. Then I ran out of pawn shops because I had sold each one of them, all of them that they had. And I would steal digital cameras. That was the back in the day when they had the digital cameras, pretty much. No, no broken home. No, I came from an upper middle class family. Um, I started that behavior. It's kind of strange. I didn't do that in my 20s and 30s. I started that in my early 40s. They call it the progression of the disease of alcohol and addiction. I did it to support my habit. Yeah, definitely. I actually don't use my own willpower, though. I use my higher power. I try to depend on Jesus Christ now. That's my higher power. Now, you can have any. I'm just reading the top here. You can have any kind of, your higher power. I respect anybody's higher power, whatever they have. Mine's Christ, though. Mine's Christ. I'm a Christian. Um, yeah, no. I did not come from a broken home whatsoever. I'll have to post a picture on my channel of the house I grew up in. It was a 16 room, all stone. It was all big stone, made out of stone, and it had a tower on it. They call it a widow's walk. 16 rooms, built in 1890 by William F. Nye. He's got a Wikipedia page. If you look up William F. Nye, he built it. That was his house. Yeah, it's a beautiful house. It's over $1 million house now, well over $1 million, of course, with the housing prices. 16 rooms. It had a swimming pool, a carport where you parked your car in. So I grew up very well. I had trips to England with my parents, Florida every winter time. We owned land in Canada. Yep, we owned land in Canada, Nova Scotia. Trips to Nova Scotia every year. Trips to Mexico. Um, I had a very good childhood, I must say. It doesn't matter where you come from with the addiction; it'll get you. If you continue to use as an addict and alcoholic. But yeah, no, that answers that question. Definitely not a broken home at all. My parents were married until my mother died. They got married about 1961, I think, or 62, somewhere around there. And my mother died in 2001 of cancer. They're married the whole time. Got along pretty good most of the time. My parents, I had loving grandparents, my grandmother and grandfather. He owned an ice company in the town that I live in now, or close to the town I live in, Taunton, Mass. He manufactured ice for the fishing boats. My grandfather did. It was a very nice, well run business. He made cubed ice, blocked ice for parties, and he also shipped, had two tractor trailers running 2 trips a day to New Bedford, Mass. And he boat icing company. He had a boat icing company along with the manufacturing plant. Wheeler tractor trailer full of ice day to New Bedford for the fishing boats. And he had a place on the dock there that would chip it up and throw it in with a hose, that would put it in the fishing boats, 120-foot fishing boats. And he had cube trucks. We would drive all the way down the Cape Cod, one way, and excuse me, Attleboro. He also supplied Attleboro Ice with have their own ice making plant, but they sold ice. So my grandfather would bring a small box truck every day there at Attleboro Ice. Also Brewster Ice too down the Cape. He would bring ice there. And my grandmother, she lived in Boston, Mass. I never met my grandfather. Do you ever use penalty? No, I've never used that. I don't really know much about that, to be honest with you. Penalty weights, like ones around the wrists and ankles, you can adjust. No, I never have. No, no. I just do powerlifting. I'm happy with that. I'm always apt to try new things though if it'll help me out. When I first lifted, I didn't know what powerlifting was. It was more like just like body shaping. I wouldn't say bodybuilding too. I guess it is. If you're building your body up, it's bodybuilding. But yeah, I was more interested in like trying to look like Arnold or Frank Zane. That was way back in the day, in the 80s when I first started lifting. I didn't really know, but I was always addicted to how much weight I was using. Have you ever sustained injuries? Yes, I have. Nothing that's ever needed surgery. I'm 57 years old. I tore my hamstring twice and my chest, a little tear. It wasn't anything big, though. I only had to take like 3 weeks off. The hamstring, no surgery needed. It was black and blue, though, for about a month. Yeah, no big deal, though, man. If you're powerlifting, shit's going to happen eventually. And that was both of them were done. One of them was right around my 49th birthday. And the other one, unbelievably, was my, let me think here, my 56th birthday, right on that, like the day after I turned 56. So that was just over a year ago. Was it just over? Yeah, just over a year ago. It was in Fall River, Mass. It was on the first attempt. It was at a powerlifting competition. Uh, Not really. No not really. I should start doing some cardio. I gotta dust it off though. I got a nice exercise bike, a spin bike right there. I really should be doing more, which I'm gonna start. Getting in cardio is fun. It's not fun. It's not something I like, but it's necessary for the heart. And I'm not perfect. That's what I'm lacking. I admit it. That's my fault right there. I need to start doing some. It's just good for the heart. Good for the heart. Um, I do have I'm gonna bring a trampoline. I have one of them small trampolines. That's terrific cardio right there. I'm gonna just not jump high on it, but just get moving on it. I just got a Peloton. I thought I would hate. Oh yeah, hell yeah, that's a nice machine, man. Hell yeah. You know what? I'm 100% for doing cardio. That's something I'm gonna start, man. Once I compete, I'm not gonna change anything until I compete on the 17th, which is coming around the corner. But once that's done, yes, hold it to me, guys. I am gonna start doing cardio. I'll start off slow. I got the trampoline in the house. That's gonna come out here. I'll put it on my deadlift platform right here. And then when I'm done with it, it's easily stored. I can store it anywhere in here. But you gotta hold me to it. I need to start doing it, man. Yep. Yep. I am gonna start doing it. You know what? As long as you wake up and you're alive, you can do it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm gonna post it. My competition, my 3 lifts. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Hold me to that, gaming. I am gonna start doing it after that. Yep. Hold me to it. I've got to start. It's very important to do it, especially at my age. Yeah, it'll help with the powerlifting too. It wouldn't help right now though, before the competition as much, but it'll help especially after you do it. Hey, how you doing, GRS? I mean GSR again. How are you doing, buddy? Yeah, it'll help with the powerlifting because the more cardio you have, the more I don't know. You can do more longer. You can sustain yourself longer out there lifting. There's a word I'm looking for. I can't remember what the word. Sometimes with speaking, I forget a word. Like I can't think of it, and then it'll come in my mind. But yeah, I appreciate that. Hold me to that. That cardio is so important. There it is. Yeah, stamina. I was thinking. Thank you, Paulie. Paulie Gaming. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. I need that stamina, man. I'll tell you, it'll really help with the powerlifting. I actually, you know what? I might actually start it before. It's not going to hurt by on the 17th doing that a couple of times before the 17th. So screw that. I'm gonna bring that. I'll bring that thing out tomorrow. I'll even post a video. Don't laugh at me though. It's gonna be funny though, watching me on that damn thing. That damn. I like the trampoline though. I want to do something fun. You know what I mean? I want to do something fun. But oh, here comes my daughter. Yeah, call her my daughter. It's like it's Kathy's daughter, which I call my daughter though. She's very nice. She's got a new baby. Oh, I call my granddaughter. Me and Kathy got together just over 2 years ago, and it's been absolutely fantastic. We're totally in love. We're gonna get married. Oh, I will post. I'll post a video. I will. You can laugh if you want. Hell yeah, I don't mind laughing at myself. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, we're in love, me and her. You know what? Because the cardio, it'll sustain me. I might live a little longer too. You know what I mean? No, in all seriousness, no, it is good. The heart health. You know what I mean? If I want to live long and see my grandson grow up, it really is important. I appreciate that. Being strong is one thing, but the cardio will keep you alive longer. Definitely will. That's for sure. Um, Yeah, me and Kathy, I met her. I was only on Facebook dating for a couple of days, and I happened to meet her on there. And we went to this place called Smoky Bones Barbecue, and there was something when I first saw her, I was attracted right away, and her personality, we really hit it off, and we kissed out in the parking lot our first date, and then I went home, and then the second date, I came over her house. We were watching Highlander, that series on Netflix called Highlander, and we really hit it off, man. And it's been great ever since. 2 years we've been living together. I moved in here probably a month later, I think. Yeah, about a month later, maybe a little bit after that. And it's been fantastic. Very rarely. We've argued a very tiny bit. That lasts about 2 seconds. Our arguments. Um, we're very compromised. We're compromising with each other. Um, We never tell any. I never tell her what to do. She never tells me what to do. We only suggest things. You know, that's important in a relationship. Just suggestion. Make suggestion. Her cooking is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. She buys and cooks mostly organic stuff. You know, she likes that. She gets that organic from that Thrive Market. She gets the Thrive Market in the mail, big boxes of food. You know, from Thrive Market, and she buys the organic food at the market. You know, at not Costco, but the other one, not Sam's. I don't remember the name of it. So it's the other big store there. We get that there, and a place called Market Basket and Stop and Shop. We never, you know what? We never go into the stores either now. She always orders it, and we just sit out in the parking lot. And I love that because I hate going into box stores. How about you all? Do you like going into these damn stores and walk? I just don't like it, walking around Walmart and shit most of the time. But they bring it out to you, and you give them the number, they put it right in your trunk, man. Doesn't cost any extra or anything. And a lot of times she just has it delivered here, you know, the food delivered. She's a wonderful cook though. Yeah. Yeah, they did, right. Amazon changed the game. When they deliver it here, I don't have to go in the stores, man. I'm not a big crowd people person too much, you know. I do too. I hate going into Walmart gaming. I can't stand it, you know. I just don't like it. It's like a human circus, right? I don't like it. You know, I don't even go to. I'm glad I don't have to go to a commercial gym too often, too. I just like my own gym. Let me just show you around here if anybody hasn't seen it. I'm sure you might have. You know, I got plenty of iron. Look, you know, I got a deadlift platform. I got an old school hack squat, which I'm a little too big for, but I still kind of cool, you know. I got a seated calf machine over there. I need to break that out. Got the like I said, the deadlift platform. Air conditioner is going to go in there. I got an air conditioner. You know, I have the brand new Titan squat rack with a Titan monolift. You know, my bars are. I got a Texas deadlift bar, very expensive. I got the 55-pound squat bar, Texas squat bar. Then I have a very nice bench bar that I use for benching that I paid about 350 for. I have several other bars too. People give me stuff. I got the Titan fat back bench here for flat bench, fitness gear incline shoulder press. Then I have this dumbbell rack that goes up to 80 pounds. Now I'm looking for like some 90s, hundreds, and 110s. I'll be happy with. I got several curl bars, and there's an old school squat rack right there from the 1960s. It telescopes up, you know. I just use it to do to curl on though. There's some more iron down here. I got iron everywhere. Irons everywhere. Oh, it's fine. I got the door open. See, I got the door open. It's wonderful in here. I got a fan over here, and then also have this door. I only had that blocked. That's gonna come down. That was blocked off for the winter time. You know what I mean? The doors open. That's double doors right there. Yeah, the ventilation in here is beautiful. I love it. Yeah, I'm gonna put a ceiling up too soon. I got plenty of lighting in here now. Yep. Yeah, that's gonna come down right there. I got the air conditioner gonna go in. That's right over here. My air conditioner. I got all my awards over here. You know, my that's my record for a 523 squat. I think it's a 5. It might be the deadlift. No, it's a squat. Yeah, I have all kinds of stuff in here, pictures and stuff. One of them fell off today. I got to put that back up. Yeah, I got right there. I got a Viking press standing calf machine that folds down right there. I have I have a competition bench I took apart that's over there. There's no room. There's no need for it, no room for it, but I still have it. It's over there too, parts of it. And I got another squat rack I took apart that's over there, my old squat rack. So I got plenty of equipment. I never need to go to a commercial gym if I don't want to, you know. It's a garage ventilation when the door is closed. I don't have a problem with that. The ventilation in here. I got a heater right here. Never had a problem with it, bud. With any of that the ventilation. I got a heater right here in the wintertime. No problem with ventilation, you know. It's the same thing as it's not really a garage, it's a shed. It's a shed anyways. Yeah, you could do that. Even though it's fine in the winter. I don't know what you're talking about with the ventilation. I got plenty of ventilation in here, man. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine in here, man. The ventilation is fine. No problem at all. And even in the wintertime, I got this heater in here. It gets cold though, even with the heater on. No, it's not a garage. No, this is a shed. This is a shed right here. That's why I got the plastic up, man. When it would one winter time I didn't have this plastic up, man. You could feel the wind blowing through this motherfucker, man. I got that border up. These are windows before. There were windows up here, but her son, when he was a very young adolescent, had somebody come over and that was destructive and broke the windows. This was before we met, way before we met, you know. Yeah, it's right now. It's not that cold in here, you know. I started wearing a tank top in here in April, you know, end of March. Yeah, no, definitely. You wouldn't fit a car in here, that's for sure. My car's sitting right there. My car sitting right there. The house is over here. You can't see it. It's too dark out now. But yeah, it's fine. Fine. It's fine for me, anyways. I've worked out and I've moved this gym. Let's see. One time I started it at my ex girlfriend's house. The gym. Started it there. Then I moved. We broke up. Me and my ex broke up, and I moved to my niece's house. My gym. I moved to my sister's house. My niece lived right down the street. She had a full cellar, so I moved my gym there. And then me and my ex got back together, and I moved it back to her house. And then we ended up breaking up again, and we became best friends after that. My ex and me, I grew up with her in high school and junior high. We became best friends, you know. And her and Caroline, her and my fiance get along very good too, just as friends, you know. Can you show me how to do I don't really do much. I don't do anything for my traps anymore, really. Just some maybe. Uh, all you need to do is some shrugs, maybe, and cleans. That's all you need for cleans. Are very good for. You can use dumbbells. Dumbbell cleans. Here's a good one right here. I don't really work them anymore. My traps overpower everything. They get so big, my traps, which is not a bad thing. But deadlifts get them pretty big, anyways. It's just one of those muscles that I have. Like, you know, you have a muscle that's genetically more inclined to get bigger than the others. Yeah, cleans is a good one. You just take a couple of dumbbells, you know, almost like a curl, and you just clean them up like this, like that, you know. Or you can do them. You can do cleans with a barbell. It's good for traps. Shrugs. Maybe some upright rows. I don't really like them too much. Upright row and some wider grip upright rows, light, you know. Yeah, cleans are very good for your traps. They'll get them. Start off with a very small dumbbell, you know, 25 or whatever. Do a set of 15, then go up to 30s, 40s. By the time you, excuse me, get up to 50s or 60s, you know, you'll really start feeling it up here, boy. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, that's That's probably the best thing though. And some upright rows are okay. I never had a problem with them, you know. Later on in life, I started getting tendonitis from doing them, so I stopped doing them. Okay, gaming. You have a good night. Have a blessed night. Yep. Yeah, you will see that cardio coming up soon. Guarantee it. Thank you for holding me to that. Yeah. Yeah, have a good night. I'm going to end up going and getting something to eat here in a minute. So, everybody, you have a blessed night. It's been a fun live stream tonight. Just, you know, shooting the shit with everybody. Have a good night. God bless you.